can ramble on. I feel as if I'm awful far from the body of the kirk. There's a big gap.
Yeah, I know, that we never did get the tables back down. Well, you come up here. Just
Sit up here.
Queen the land of no, I'll bring it in.
A Sue White memorial lamp.
That's still for me now.
Okay, I'll try and relax. This is just a normal night at the folk club.
It is.
It is, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Every night's a good one. This is a story I found the other day that I don't know how it's going to go because I haven't really told it before. And obviously trying it out this first time will help me enormously. It's a traditional story from India, and it goes something like this. Once long ago, in the land of India, the kings were called Rajas, Maharajas, and they ruled great districts and were very wealthy, and the ordinary people were rather afraid of them, because some of them were mean and treated their people badly. There was one young Raja who was very withdrawn and very superior, didn't talk to the ordinary people much. And things came to a head when it was decided that he would marry. And all was arranged, and the young man, rather than have his own servants, summoned the barber from the nearest town to come and attend to his beard and his hair. Well, I say hair, but you couldn't see it because he wore a very large turban. Ever since he'd been a little boy, he had insisted on wearing a turban, and it got bigger as he got older. Now, he was ready for the barber, and the barber, when he was summoned, he was so excited. A chance of money, perhaps custom. If the Raja was pleased with him, he might get regular work. He had a small shop in town, and he knew everybody in the town. But this was the first time he'd gone into the presence of the Raja. So he was very cleaned up and very anxious by the time he went up to the palace gates, for they were palace gates, beautiful, beautiful, fortified palace. And when he was brought forward into the company of the Raja made sure that his own servants and courtiers were sent out from the room. It was a beautiful marble, mirrored ceiling, beautiful. And the barber went forward slowly and bowed and, Your Highness, I'm here to help you get ready for the wedding. And yes. Now listen to me. I'll say this once and I won't go over it again. I need to know that I can trust you to keep quiet about a certain thing that embarrasses me. And the barber looked at him. He said, I will have you trim my beard and cut my hair, as is the custom before the wedding, but I will have you not speak of me to anyone else, not gossip or tell tales or say anything of what you've seen. And so, with that, the Raja unwound his turban. It was long, a lot of cloth fell to the floor, and when he was finished, the barber saw that he had enormous ears. The biggest ears he'd ever seen. Kept a very straight face. Now, he said, no one knows that I have very big ears, and if anybody tells me, or if a rumour comes to me that I've got big ears, I'll know who it is who's spread it. So, be warned, if that happens, I will have your head off. The barber said, Your Highness, I will tell no one. Nobody knows. I kept it very quiet, said the Raja. But of course, there were a couple of people in the palace who did know that he had big ears. But the barber set to and started working on his hair at the back and kept thinking, I must not tell anybody about his big ears. I must not tell anybody about his big ears. Made his way around the hair, and then when he was at the beard at the side, it was all he could do not to say it out loud. It was just going through his head all the time. I must not tell anyone about his enormous ears. And in the end, he'd done quite a good job. The Raja was impressed when he looked in the mirror and he said, now remember what I said. Here's your coin, but tell no one what you've seen. Oh, Your Highness, I certainly will. I hope we see each other again. And off he went. Well, by the time he got outside the palace, he was giggling. He couldn't believe it. I mean, he's kept his ears covered up for years. Couldn't believe it. Went home, kept it to himself. You know, it was quite good. He went to work the next day, and it was just all he could do. Someone, a customer, I mean, everybody was chatty in the barber shop. One said to him, gee, things must be pretty quiet around here. You never see anything unusual, anything. Oh, he said, well, if you saw the Raja, he's got Oh, he thought, what am I thinking? And he said, he's got enormous... The Raja? Said the listener. What? The Raja's got enormous what? Oh, he's got enormous gemstones in his rings. Oh, that was close. Oh, said the other. And then as he was on his way home, he thought, I have to be very careful. I mean, I think he's a powerful man. He'll keep his word. And as he was going home, he saw his children out playing. And they were being silly and rude, and there was a bit of a fight going on, and they were sticking out tongues and pulling their ears and making faces. And he, without thinking, said, if you do that, you'll end up like the Raja with enormous... And the kids stopped. Is it Raja? Father? What? Oh, it's just that the Raja's children are enormous and big, and he's got big children, the Raja. Children just got a bit confused, and they came home with him. And that night, when his wife was getting ready for bed, she took out her new earrings and she said, do you like my new earrings? Aren't they lovely? Do you think they're too small? Maybe I should have... He said, oh no, they're not too small. I mean, you don't want to get them big for... No, the Raja's got enormous... It's got enormous what, dear? He's got enormous earrings. He would look silly with small ones. He's got enormous earrings. Well, the poor man hardly slept. He just knew he was going to have to blurt it out to someone, and he wasn't going to tell his wife, and he didn't tell the children, and he couldn't tell the customers. And then he thought, I know, I'll tell it to a tree. That way I'm not telling it to anyone, I'm telling it to a tree, and once it's out, I'll feel better. So that next morning, instead of heading straight into town to his little shop, he went into the forest and he found a likely tree, and he went up to it and looked around either side and looked behind him. There was nobody behind him. And he just stood there in front and said, the Raja has great big ears. Oh, well, it's such a weird shoulders. And the tree just rustled in the wind, didn't say anything back. So that was fine then. Off he went into town to work. Now, it wasn't long after that a woodcutter came along and chopped down that tree and took the wood, and fine timber it was, sold it to an instrument maker. And you can imagine, because you're adults, that this is the way things go. Because the instrument maker made some fine tablets, a beautiful sitar, and a couple of flutes, and they were so beautifully made. The timber was so beautiful to look at that he sold them easily and quickly to the most famous band in the district. They were so famous, they were going to be playing at the Raja's wedding. Now everybody in the district who was anybody was at the wedding. There were over 100 guests. The palace was decorated. As you walked up to the gates, you could see all the tables all laid out with food, and people fanning and waltzing around. And the young Raja looked beautiful in a golden turban, enormous it was, and great earrings and as much diamonds as he could wear. Now, of course, people from the town were invited, including the barber. And when he went forward and saw this luxury, he was so impressed. And there was the band and the feast, and oh, it was just the greatest of time. And when the feast was over, the band started to play, and it was to be the wedding dance. But it didn't come out as a dance. It came out as a song. The Raja has enormous ears. Yes, the Raja has enormous ears. Do you want to know? I know what. The Raja has enormous ears. Everything was hushed. People stopped, froze, looked at the Raja, and the Raja roared, "No!" And he thought, the barber, where is he? And he called Barber and pointed at him, and he came towards him. The barber was terrified. Oh, he had a wife and children to support. He couldn't. And the barber said, "Oh, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone." "You must have. How did this get out? That is it. You tonight will have your head off." "Oh, no, please, please," said the barber. People were beginning to get interested and grow a little closer. "Please, I didn't, honestly. I didn't tell it to anyone. I told it to a tree." "You told it to a tree?" The Raja started to laugh. He scratched his head. "I can't believe that you told it to a tree and suddenly it's a song. Well, what does it matter? I'm married now. I'm happy. And I've got enormous ears. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone here, I have got big ears." And he pushed them out from underneath his turban. You know, we've all got something we don't particularly like. Mine just happen to be ears. Maybe it's your knees. Maybe it's your big feet. I don't care. Doesn't matter. We're all different. And we're here for a wedding. So, everybody together after me. The Raja has enormous ears. Yes, the Raja has enormous ears. Do you know what? I know what. The Raja has enormous ears. And that's the story of the Raja with very big ears.